Hi, I'm Tanya, and welcome back to the series that you have been following all along. Hopefully that you've started with the introduction video and you've made it through all of the videos up to this point. This is the final video that is going to be about creating an assessment. And we're going to be using Google Forms. This is a basic tools module, lesson, series, whatever you want to call it. Basically, we're showing you some of the simple tools, the easiest tools to utilize online with your students. So the first thing that I'm going to share with you is the Google Drive. Just like in Google Docs, I want to start in my Google Drive. I do. Now you could also, in your waffle here, I call this a waffle or a checkerboard or whatever, you can scroll through your app options and there is a specific area for Google Forms. It is the purple one with the little dots on it. This could be used for a test, a survey, asking students questions, surveying them, polling them, any of the things that you would need to get something from them. And a lot of times when people start using Google Forms, they think they have to just use the questions. Multiple choice, check box, drop down, that you have to ask questions, have them have a paragraph or write a short answer of something. But you could also have them complete something else somewhere else, like a Bunsey or a Prezi. And since this is a basic tools one, that's not a tool that I'm going to go over. There are some other YouTube series that possibly will cover that. But basically, if I complete a Bunsey, it'll give me a link and I can take that link and submit it through Google Forms. And that would be a way of organizing it, because when you answer questions in Google Forms, it gives the data to the teacher in a spreadsheet. And I'm going to show you how that data looks in a couple spreadsheets that I have composed, worked on here lately. Basically, you collect the data through this process of questions, and you can see some of my recent ones, and it puts it in a really nice format for it. So let me see which ones would be good to show you right away. So yeah, these are class registrations. Let me show you this one. I think I'll show you this one. And this is in Forms. I normally do not create in Forms, but this was a nice place to be able to find the recent forms that I've worked on. So here's where I created the questions, and this is the editing portion. So I add questions through here, and I will show you how to do all that stuff. And then here are the responses. And you get to see the responses in two different ways. You get to see them, well, it depends on how you look at it. This is one way that you can see it in a visual aspect. You could go look at per question and per individual who submitted. Okay, so this person submitted, there's their email address, they're a high school teacher, and these are the classes that they wanted to take. So I was collecting data based on wanting to register for a course. I also can have the data go to a spreadsheet, and I normally do have that data go into a spreadsheet because you can filter it, you can search it, you can narrow it down. So you can collect data through a form, whatever that may be. It could be a link, it could be a picture, it could be a Google link. So like we had shown in one of the earlier videos, you can get a shareable link from anything in Google. So you could have the students submit a shareable link. And the one thing that they have to make sure when they go to share it, that they have to make sure that that sharing is on and it's allowable to the teacher. So if I was sending this to someone in our organization, it would be okay. But if I was sending this to someone outside of our domain, they would not be able to open it. I could also go into my share settings and share directly with them. But the URL is a wonderful way of allowing people to share things quickly through via link kind of thing. So if I wanted to change those settings, anyone at NWOET, well, I want it to be anyone with a link. And can they view it? Can they organize it, edit it, add stuff to it? That is specific to whatever that task is. Okay, so I could have students share that way through the link, and then they submit the link through that Google form. Okay, so now that we've seen what a Google form is, as I'm showing you, try to think of different ways that you could use that Google form, not just for collecting a name and an address and a, like a survey, demographics, trying to find things out about people. You could also use it for inventory or book reviews. The students could say what book that they've, their name, what book that they've read, and then they could give a synopsis of what they thought of the book. Also, that's the way they could submit assignments. It also could be just asking a follow-up question to get feedback to see how they accepted the lesson. Are there any confusing points? So it could be a way of getting information about lessons that you've taught or units that you've made it through. So we're going to go back into Chrome here. And remember, I did create a folder earlier called Testing YouTube Series. So I'm going to, in this same folder, that's what I was talking about earlier, when I have forms, docs, sheets, slides, I create them in here. So I'll either go New and More, and then Google Form, or I can right-click, More, and then Google Form. And I can do the blank form or from a template. So this is the way I can utilize my Google Drive and have it emulate kind of the form area, okay? So right away it gives me this untitled form, just like everything else, and it did open a brand new tab for me. So I'm gonna give it a name, YouTube. Well, let's do something for real. Basic Tools Assessment, because you guys are gonna be able to take an assessment here after you're done with all these videos, and after you've completed that assessment, if you've received an 80% or higher answering the question, so this is going to be a test, I'm going to ask you questions that can only be graded by Google Forms, so there's not going to be any short answer or paragraph questions, and I'm going to put some calculations into the spreadsheet, so, and some other fancy stuff that I'm not going to teach you today, and when you hit submit on your questions, it's going to calculate them, and if you got an 80% or higher, then it's going to send you a certificate automatically. So I'm really excited about that portion of the Google form for you. So basic tools assessment, and I probably will put a basic tools assessment description here. I'm going to change the settings. I could have done that two ways. So it was right here. It just says NWOET can use it. Well, I want everybody to be able to use it. I could have also done it through the dot up here. The reason I said is because since yesterday when I created a new form, the way that forms looks has changed. So I can go to settings and it brings up the same window, and I'm not going to collect email addresses from what they've logged in. I probably should, but I'm going to simplify it. I'm going to make you enter the email address, and I'm going to say edit after no, I'm not going to say edit after submit because it is a test, and I'm not going to let you see summary response, limit to 1. Yep, there. And then do I want it to show a progress bar? Do I want it to I think I do, in shuffle question order, and I'm fine with that. And then I'm going to put in here a message about if you receive an 80% or higher, then you will receive a certificate if you entered your email correctly, because it'll send it to the email that you put in the form. And then the last thing in the settings that we need to turn on is make this a quiz. This is kind of a new thing, a little bit new, but locked mode on Chromebooks. So if you turn on lock mode, the students won't be able to open another tab or window to be able to complete the assessment. It's a kind of nice new security setting for Google Forms testing. Release grade, I don't like immediately after each submission. I guess I could do that so you guys could tell if you got an 80% or higher. Respondent can see, nope, I don't want to see missed questions, correct answers, or point values. I'm just going to turn all of that off to make it easier. And then I'm going to hit save. So now I know that anyone can fill this form out, which is very important to me. And 2, it's going to be a quiz. Right now it's total of 3 points, and I'm guessing it's because of whatever this is. Yes, so it shows that this is worth 3 points and there's no question in there. So the first thing that I want to put is, maybe I want to put name. I do, name. And it's not going to be worth any points because answering your name is not worth points. And then I'm going to, since I kind of want the same thing again, I'm going to just hit duplicate. So again, it's worth 0 points, but this one is going to be email. And that's good enough for me. And then right here, it gives me a suggestion, enable email collection settings. So it's going to make sure that they put in a valid email address. Yeah, I think I'm going to have to do it that way. Anyways, I shouldn't be thinking through these things while I'm teaching you. So the next thing that I need to do is all down at the bottom. I'm glad I'm doing this today. I waited because yesterday I did a form and all of it was on the side. So down here, add a question. I can import questions. I can add a title and description. So this is going to give me, like, if I wanted to break it up into a true and false, multiple choice, essay. So if I wanted to put those things in there, I'm not going to do any of those for you because, excuse me, I don't want to have to come back in here graded. I want it to grade it automatically for me, and I want it to send you guys' certificates instantly if you get an 80% or higher. You can add an image and a YouTube video. These are nice for if I put an image up there and I say, what does this make you think of based on the things that we learned about the Renaissance period? A YouTube video, I could give them a YouTube video and then have them answer the questions below it associated with that YouTube video. And then this is a little bit more advanced, the add section. Add section is going to give us the opportunity to break things up. Now, I'm going to do this in yours where I'm going to say I'm going to put a question up here that is going to be multiple choice. And I'm going to say which learning management system are you going to use? And then I'm going to give you the option of Google Classroom because that's what this course, sorry, I don't know what's wrong with my fingers, Classroom and Schoology, because that's what this course has covered. Now, I want my name to be up above there. So I grabbed, this is Great Learning Experience. I'm going to grab this, I call it a cheese grate up at the above. You can see as soon as my mouse goes over that, it will turn into 4 arrows. So now I can take that and move it up to the top where I'd like it. And now it goes email, name, and both of those are worth 0 points. And then I'm going to create a section that's called Google Classroom. I did not want it to do that. Let's move this up there, underneath there, boom. All right. It's taken advantage of automated things. It's trying to guess what I want to do, and that's not what I want to do. Okay, so that section is called Google Classroom. And then I'm going to create another section that's called Schoology. And these are like page break sections. Okay, so, and then I'm going to create another one that's called, what's my third thing? Zoom. Is that what I did third? And this third section is going to be called Zoom. Now, the only one that's going to be difficult is the first one. So when you go up here and we're editing this one, so I have several sections below me, and I'm going to have more sections based on the areas that I covered. And this one is going to determine which direction they go. So, excuse me, if I go to here down at the 3 dots, show description, go to section based on answer, shuffle option order. So I'm going to go to section based on answer. So if they answer Google Classroom, then I want them to go to the Google Classroom section. If I want them to go to the Schoology section, as soon as they select that, they'll go to the Schoology section. Now, as soon as they're done with the questions I'm going to put in Google Classroom, they're going to go on to, not the next section, because the next section is Schoology. I want them to go on to Zoom. And then after they're done with Schoology, the next section is Zoom, but I'm still going to say Zoom. And then all of these are going to be next section, next section, next section, because you're going to take Zoom and then Google Docs and then Cami, Google Groups, Cami, and then Google Forms. So that's the way that you can use what the heck, page breaks. And it puts them into sections for you. Now that I've got this first section done in Google Classroom, I want to ask some questions. So I can click on the plus. Oops, I'm guessing it's throwing one down here. So it's putting the questions down below since I had already created those. Well, I want to move them back up, and I want this one to be in this section. So all of my questions are going to be either multiple choice, checkbox, drop down, and I might have a checkbox grid or a multiple choice grid. But the basic use that I am trying to show you in here is asking questions that just require the students to give you a short answer or submit a link, put something in there that they've created from another program, or like, you know, like the ones that are up top, the short answer is first, you know, name, give me your name. Paragraph would be more like a essay question. So most of the ones that I'm going to use with you are going to be like multiple choice. And in the multiple choice, I'm going to say which section in Google Classroom is used for announcing information to students. And all of you should know that based on the videos that you watched, but I'm going to say the stream. I can hit enter to go to the next one, the classwork, people, and the fourth one is grades. Okay, so now that I've done the answer key, and I'm only going to make this one worth 2 points. I'll look at all of them as I go through just to see how many points I should make them worth. But I got to tell it which one is the right answer. Well, the right place is the stream. So now I've told it what the right answer is, and I can even get answer feedback. For incorrect answers, you can tell them this. For correct answers, you can say great job, wonderful. You can also give them a YouTube video or give them a link to go and look at the answer to show them proof or more learning from there. So I'm going to hit save. And I would continue to do that. So the questions, like I said, every time I hit plus, it was putting questions down here. So I can move these up to wherever I want. And I can do a checkbox. So select all, apply. I'm not going to put real questions now. I'm just going to do things. And I could say, what is your favorite activity? Okay, and then I can put a bunch of things here. Okay, and then when after I'm done with this, I'll decide if I want it worth 2 points, 3 points, 4 points, and I'll probably do it 1 point a piece. It's not an opinion question. Mine are going to be real questions, and then I will go to the answer key and I will change that. to whatever I need it to be. And then I'll hit done. Okay, so maybe that's all that I wanted there. Let's see if I click on there and then hit plus, if it'll put it under Schoology. Yeah, so I clicked on the page break and then I hit add a question and it put it under Schoology. So now I can go in here and do drop down. Now the difference between drop down and multiple choice is that the drop down is going to put it in a list. As soon as you click it, it's going to bring expand everything for you to look at. Multiple choice is both of them are going to have only one answer, and then multiple choice you're going to be able to see all of them. Drop down can have more answers in that long list of that drop down. So who was the first explorer in America? And then I can just put a bunch of options. Okay. So I can start putting a bunch of things in there. And then this one will probably only be worth 2 points just because that's the rate I'm going with my one answer questions. And then after I'm done with that one, I can hit the plus sign, and short answer will allow you, the students, to write a very quick text. This could be a fill in the blank. It's not going to, well, it can grade it, but I don't advise you to put these in here, because when you go to the answer, when you add the correct answer, it has to be spelled and punctuated perfectly. And you can say mark all other answers incorrect, and then you give them answer feedback. But this causes a lot of issues with if students misspell it, or if they put a capital and it's not supposed to be a capital, or put an S on it and there's not supposed to be an S on the end of it. So yeah, so a lot of times short answer, and if you start this with your students, you can discipline them to let them know that it has to be exact or you're getting it wrong. Or you could be lenient and say, I'll alter your answer based on, or your grade based on how you answered that. So, but the whole point of grading is to save you some time. So if you have to go back and check the answers, that's not cool. And like I said, the paragraph is for something a little bit longer. I usually use this when I'm asking people their opinion, or having them expand on an answer. More essay style, like a paragraph length. Multiple choice, checkbox drop down. So those are the basic ones that you can use. If I do file upload, this is kind of a nice way as well to have students submit assignments. They're going to upload files to Drive. Files will be uploaded to the form owner's Google Drive. Okay, so I own the form. So as soon as the students hit this, they'll be asked to upload something to the form. This is an awesome feature. And then it will be delivered to me. So this is also done in Google Classroom very easily, but it's nice that Google Forms does this now. So they'll have to sign into their Google account and then upload something to the form. So I'm going to continue here. And so I can ask them the question of, answer this question, and then they can upload a Google Doc that they answered the response with. So it's something that a little bit longer, or maybe it's a picture, or maybe it's something that you ask them to demonstrate in a Google drawing. So there's, and this is a nice way to be able to expand what you're asking the students, to have them upload something to prove that or show that. It looks like this form can accept up to 1 gigabyte of file. That's huge. You change the settings. Ooh, looks like 10 gigabytes. And then maximum number of files. You can say 5, 10, whatever. Okay. And then I could allow only specific file types. I do not want to do that, just because I want to leave it a little bit more open to the students. So those are the ones that you probably would use the most on that drop down. The paragraph, short answer is up the top, multiple choice, checkbox, drop down, file upload. Linear scale is going to be like a Likert scale. and you're going to ask them how, you know, easy was something, really easy to extremely difficult. And so then that they'd select 1 through 5, and you can change those settings as well. Normally on the multiple choice grid and checkbox grid, I always tell people to kind of experiment with those and watch the settings, because it can get a little messy with that, with your answers. So like if multiple choice grid, you can add rows and columns, and then right here, require response in each row, limit to 1 response per column, shuffle row order. So you just want to make sure that you're getting the response that you are requiring through that. Same thing with checkbox grid. And of course you put in what the label is for row 1, column 1, and then again the ... where you can limit them to 1 response per column. And then the answer key will also give you some more information based on what you want them to, and as you complete the rest of those options in there. So I always just tell people, and again, this is not the basic portion of Google Forms. The basic portion are short answer, paragraph, multiple choice, checkbox, and drop down. I've kind of just briefly explained these other things to let you know that they do exist. Introduce them a little bit for you to explore when you're ready to do that. I always tell people not to go beyond what they feel they can do. Don't overwhelm yourself. Just do the basic things first. Date and time, you could probably get some educational reasons out of them, like timeline stuff, or specific questions related to a book, history, geography kind of thing. But I'm guessing that they're in there because people were doing registrations or scheduling things. What time is best for you? Which date is best for you? And so they would put that information in there. So yeah, that's the way that you edit or create the questions in the Google form. And then down at the bottom, these are the things that allow you to add more to it with the add the image, add the YouTube video. And when you add it, it'll put it wherever your marker is, and then you can move it just as easily as you did the questions. All the forms, all the places have ... at some point somewhere, so you can duplicate something, delete, move. The send button, the customized theme, sorry, you can choose an image and put it up there. A banner from your school website, a picture of your students. And then you can choose some background colors, theme color, however you want to do that, and apply it. And then the send button allows you to do 3 things. You can email it, so I can get in here and start to type in, there we go, so an email address, and then it will send that form directly to that person, and I can include the form in the email. And my Wi-Fi is really getting slow that it's not keeping up with my clicks here, so I apologize for that. The other thing that you can do is just send it via email or put it on a website. You can shorten that URL and copy and paste it on an email that you're sending to your students, or putting it in your classroom, your Google Classroom, your Schoology. And then I like this one because you can embed it. Yes, okay. So if you have a file upload question, you cannot embed. So if I did not have that question in there, it would give me all this code that I would just copy and paste somewhere. And I talked about embed in one of the videos earlier. So I believe it was the Schoology one. So embed just is a fancy way of putting the form in the email or in a website or in something. So just do the basic, which is use the link. So copy this link, oops, copy that link, and then paste it wherever you want to. Looks like you can tweet it out or put it on Facebook as well. And then the ... are over here as well. I can make a copy, I can move it, get a pre-filled link. I can add co-teachers Do not add students to your Google Forms. I can add teachers to this if I want them to review it, add questions, help me with it. But there's all this stuff that you can do in here. This is advanced add-ons. It's kind of like the Cami add-on to Google Docs. A lot of these things can get a little bit more complicated if you want them to. I always say that you can do anything with Google Forms because it has a spreadsheet associated with it. And that spreadsheet is going to allow me to do, let's think of it like Excel. I can put equations in there. I can put if-then statements. I can put arrays. I can put all these things into that. So Google Spreadsheet allows you to do everything. But for the basics, I just want to create a new spreadsheet, and it's going to put it where the form is. So I'm just going to be like, yeah, create that thing. And it's going to open it in a separate tab for me. So anytime anyone fills it out, okay, so I'm going to preview it here. If I preview it, then that's the live view. Since I am going to have you, excuse me, have a certificate email to you, you got to have a correct email in there. And then I'm going to put my full name. And then this is the one where we said if I choose one or the other, it's going to take me to a certain section. So I'm going to go next. And this is the preview, and this is what it's going to look like live. And then I'm going to choose that answer, that, and I'm going to hit next, and it's going to go on to the Zoom portion. And I don't have anything in here, no questions. And so then I'm going to submit. Now, the reason I submitted is because I wanted you to see what it looks like at the end. I would have a different message here for you guys, letting you know about the 80%. I can submit another response if I want. It looks like I can view accuracy if other people have completed it. But here is the basic tools assessment spreadsheet that I filled out. It does an automatic timestamp. Email address, it gives them a score. I had 2 out of 16, so I want to go in and look at that and see what I did. I didn't tell it which one was the right answer for a couple of those. And then my name and the answers that I submitted. Okay, and then I never made it to this, so I got to go and check my navigation. So, but this is what it looks like. So you're going to have all your data in here, so you can sort things in the spreadsheet based on how you've answered it. So the spreadsheet is a nice addition to having the answers go in there because you can sort things. If you're familiar with spreadsheets or Excel spreadsheets, there's a lot of things that you can do. I usually look for certain answers via sorting A to Z, Z to A. I can even look for some certain options in there. I could organize it by grades, like who had the lowest grades to the top grades, as soon as I have a bunch of entries within this test. And this is opened separately, as is the preview of the test, as is the answering of the test. So now that I've, this is where I put the questions in. This is where I edit, add stuff. Sorry, I pushed that down so far you guys can't see it. I edit, I can answer, add questions in here. And then my responses, you can see that one person has responded and we know that's me. And I can look at individual, look for question. I can also turn off my responses. And then I can delete all responses if I'm going to use it again for another year. I could just make a copy if I wanted to as well. The one thing I like to do if I get too many responses in a form, besides deleting the responses, I like to unlink the form and then create a new link to it. So if I unlinked this one, now I can hit this button again and create a new one again. So the nice thing about that is if you're editing things or moving things around, or you can do that, and it doesn't lose my answers, doesn't lose any of my upload stuff, any of that. So it's just kind of nice that if I have some issues with the sheet and it's not working the way I want, I can unlink it and get rid of that. I can also still do some additional things down here. I use this for calculations and equations and that kind of stuff to get more from my data. Okay, so that is the Google Forms, the 3 sections. You got the questions where you edit them, and you have the responses, which is mimicked in 2 places, right here in the picture view and in the spreadsheet in the data view in the spreadsheet view. And then the third area that the students will see or parents will see or whomever's answering the question is the preview option. So I can go and look at the live form and see how it will present itself to everyone else. Okay. So yeah, that's the Google form in a nutshell. It's a really nice tool. Just you know, start using it for asking questions or collecting information or data first, and then your ideas will expand from there, so you can decide how you want to use it. Yeah, I really have enjoyed this series with you. Now you can take the assessment. It will be available for you in the comments. Just click on it and take the assessment, and we can see if you get 80%. If you get 80% or higher, then you will receive an email that tells you, congratulations, you've earned blah, blah credit, contact hours towards your professional development plan. So I will include all this stuff in the information associated with this class, and I hope you enjoyed the time with me. I know it was a little long, but I guess it's worth the hours. I wanted to create all this information for you to be able to at least basically jump into some of these tools to use them for your online class for work with your students. So it's been great. I will see you in another series, hopefully. And again, if you want to email me, the email is included in this video, and I'll talk to you soon. All right, thanks.